This is why I love Wisconsin. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I stopped at Quick Trip to fill up with gas and get a breakfast sandwich and an energy drink and whatnot for this morning's hunt. And I see a guy and his daughter wearing blaze orange. This week is the Wisconsin youth hunt. And we sat there and had a friendly conversation, traded a couple hunting stories. And it's just so cool that two complete strangers could have such a fun and interesting conversation at 4 o'clock in the morning in a parking lot because we share a similar passion. So it's cool. I'm excited. This is the first duck hunt of the year. I'm meeting up with my brother-in-law over at the spot. We've been scouting this field. It's had a couple other hunters in it, but last night we were there and there was tons of birds working it, so I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be a really fun hunt. I'm going to try to document as much as I can on camera. I am going to be shooting, so it's going to be hard to move a camera around. I'm going to have a GoPro going and try to set this camera up the best I can to capture at least a little bit, but it should be a really fun and exciting hunt. So we're going to get out there, get the decoys out, and see if we can't work some birds. All right. Ooh. I got here a little bit early. Visibility levels are like 0. It's really misty, foggy. You can hardly see 30 yards, but Jimmy's on his way over with a buddy. We're gonna get set up and wait for daylight, but we're kind of liking our setup. We're in a buffer strip. We got some flooded corn over here behind us and winter wheat out in front of us, so we're gonna hunt both. How you feeling?
Oh, all right. It's been worse.
Those birds are laughing. They do that again. Did you take them? They get that close on a circle again. I think we take them.
I agree.
Look, my calls are dumb. These ones are coming in pretty low.
Yeah, not yet. Take them. Oh, I nailed it.
You did. Nice shot, Jimmy. That's too far. Yeah, go ahead.
Coming around. Coming around. Not yet, not yet. All right, take them. Take them.
Too far. That's too far. Yeah, go ahead. Shit. I didn't hit a single thing here. Oh, here, I got this one. Another hen. No, that's a drake. This one's an immature drake. I saw a drake.
But they are.
Confirmed one drake in the group. Let's just see it. That one's a drake. Yep. If he comes back, I should have shot. I saw him. He was in range.
Right, brown patch
Yeah.
on the chest.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
I saw this and a white collar. they're coming back. If you can pick that one up, just don't miss him and tag a hen. There's one, that middle one in the back is a drake. I could see a white collar from here. Yeah, go.
Oh yeah.
Catch him!
Watch out!
Woo!
Yeah!
There he goes. Alright, here's all the birds. Had a pretty fun day. Right, boys?
What? Decent morning. I think Jimmy had called a little bit better. We might have shot a couple more, but we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, dude.
Alright, I'm here in my messy garage with the birds we killed yesterday. I got one goose and 2 mallards. I'm going to show you how to clean them for what I'm going to cook. I'm going to cook one of my favorite things, my favorite ways to make duck, and that's a bacon wrap type of deal. It's really good, especially for my wife and my son who aren't quite used to eating as much wild game as I am, especially duck. So I think they'll really like that. And then with the goose, I'm just going to breast that out as well. I'm going to turn the breast into some goose jerky when I have a few more birds. To me, it's not worth going through that process until you got a few saved up and you can make a bunch at once. As far as the ducks go, I'm going to just breast them out for what I'm doing. Later in the year, I do like to pluck them, save the skin on, and cook them that way when they're just a little bit fatter. But for my wife and my son, and just because they're earlier season birds, I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to do the goose first. Alright, so I got my bag here for feathers. I'm going to breast them out, so I don't need to pluck the whole bird, but I like to just start with it. And right here, down here, it's soft. That's kind of where all of his intestines and stuff are. I'm going to just grab a couple feathers up here because I'm in the garage. I don't want to make a mess and put them in the bag. So right where his breastbone starts, I pluck the feathers so that I can see his exposed skin right there. Once I get that, I can take my knife and start cutting up. And if you let these birds sit and get cold, it's a lot harder. I prefer to do it right after the hunt if I can, but that wedding to go to yesterday. So once you get the skin going, you can just start peeling it back. Sometimes it's easier to just remove a few feathers. Just keep peeling down. Alright. So, doesn't look that clean right now, but I got the whole breast of the bird exposed. Now we have this breastbone right here. And what I do is once it's fully exposed, I make a cut along that as close as I can. once I get it going, just start peeling the meat down the rib cage. Now there's a vein right there that I popped. And once you get into this top piece, there's like a collar. A lot of meat hides up under there, so I like to turn my knife upside down. Try to get as much as I can out of that collar. Because we work really hard for these birds and we don't like wasting the meat. Alright, so it doesn't look real pretty right now. We'll take it inside, cleaned up, get these feathers and all that off, but we got all that out. One thing we did not grab right away is right here on the inside. If you know what a chicken tender is, it's kind of hard to see in the camera right now, but there's a piece of meat that runs inside the breast. I take that out after. You kind of work your knife back and forth. Now this one's kind of, must have got kind of shot up, so that one doesn't look very pretty, but that's the inner tender. And you can see right here, it's nice and clean. Right here, nice and clean where that was. We didn't miss any of that meat. So getting that and working your knife back and forth in that groove allows you to get all of that inner tender. Alright, so something I've done with pheasants in upland. I've never tried it with ducks before, but it should work. I'm going to try this. Lay the bird down, head down, step on its wings, as close to the body as you can. Grab the feet and pull up. That worked okay. So that removed all of the bottom parts of the bird. There's still some of the skin attached to the meat, so now we just got to peel that back. Alright, so what it looked like after I pulled is this. I already got some of the breast exposed. Now all I'm going to have to do is just continue to peel this back a little bit. It didn't completely peel off, probably because the skin of this duck is a little bit tougher than the skin of a pheasant or a chicken, but got it started. There. Now what I'm going to do, reach in here, that hole where its neck kind of was, pull away. There. Now the wings are off. Now I'm training my dog to duck hunt, so I'm going to save these wings for training purposes. So I'm going to cut those off. All we do is same thing. There's this center rib bone. You can see it right there. Take your knife as close as you can to that bone. Takes a lot of time and money to kill these birds. We work really hard. We do not want to waste any of the meat. Right, there's that right here. When I peel this back, you can see there's that inner tender on that duck. I'm going to go right over the top of that. Now breaking that duck up like I did with stepping on it, that took the rib cage right out, so it makes it a lot easier, makes it so a lot harder to miss meat. Now there's that collar type of thing in here. Now that its head and neck are gone, I can just poke my knife in through the other side, and that really lets me get in there. There's like that pocket in there that can be really hard to get the meat out of. And I'll make my cut here. And there's my duck breast. It's a lot cleaner that way. I actually really like that a lot. I'm probably gonna do that from now on. That really helps you get in here. What I'm talking about is up in this corner. I still miss just a little tiny bit of meat, but you can see right here where I'm poking my finger in. That's that little pocket where this like wishbone, that wishbone comes up. A lot of meat hides down in that little pocket. When you do that, there's that hole where the neck would be. That allows you to get your knife up in there. That really makes it easier. So now I'm going to come back for this inner. It's like a tender. Now that's pretty small, but we want to utilize every piece of meat we can. These are some smaller birds. Done. Alright, so that's that bird. I really, I mean, you can see there is very little meat wasted on that bird. That's nice. So I really like stepping on the wings, pulling it up like that. That made it quite a bit easier, so I'm going to definitely do that from now on. I'm glad I gave that a try. I do that all the time with pheasants and stuff. I just never thought to do it on ducks. So, glad I figured that out. I'm going to clean this other duck, and then get this meat washed up. The duck I'm going to leave out. I'm just going to keep it in a bowl in my fridge because I'm going to make it in the next day or so. The goose I'm going to put in I like using food saver bags, sucking all the air out and keeping it airtight, and I'll keep that in my freezer until I get a pile of geese to make some jerky. Alright, so I'm going to make this duck up one of my favorite ways. It's a bacon wrapped cream cheese recipe, and obviously you stuff anything with cream cheese and wrap it with bacon, it's going to be delicious, so why not do it with duck? There's plenty of other ways I like to cook duck, but for my family, I think they'll really enjoy this. It's just really a treat. So this is a really simple recipe. All you need is I got my duck breast in here. I like to use Uncle Ben's long grain wild rice, some cream cheese, and then I always get like this is like an onion and chive one, a whipped chive cream cheese, and then obviously your bacon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this wild rice going first, and then I'm going to get to stuffing the duck breast with that and wrap it in bacon. But first things first, I got to cook this wild rice. Alright, the wild rice is just finishing up. It's just cooling off now. I got my oven set to 400. It's preheating. The next thing I'm going to need to do is cut my pockets in these breasts. So we got our nice duck breast here. We need a sharp knife. And I'm just going to come in and create a little pocket to stuff. Like that. Now I got a nice little pocket that I can stuff my cream cheese in. My wild rice is ready to go, so I'm going to get my stuffing ready, my filling. Got this chive cream cheese here. Pull some of that out. Now, add in this wild rice. This wild rice smells delicious. However much rice to cream cheese you want, whatever. It's all up to you. I just mix it together. And that looks pretty good to me. I got it nice. Mix that now. I'm going to mix it up even more, but with some seasonings. This already, like I said, the wild rice has a seasoning that came with it. And the chive seasoning, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic salt to it. So whatever seasonings you think might go good with this, add in. But all that's left pretty much is stuffing the breast and then wrapping it in bacon. Alrighty, so now I'm Just gonna grab my birds, my breast, and stuff them with as much of this cream cheese as I can. I like to get it down in that pocket. Just like that. So now there's that, looks kind of like a taco of cream cheese in this bird. So once I got that, then I just have to bacon wrap it and do it to the rest of them. There we go. Tell me that doesn't look delicious. I'm just going to set that in my oven pan. Do that to the rest of them. Alright, so this right here is what it looks like, and don't tell me that that doesn't look delicious. So I got the oven set. It's at 350. For some reason I can't get mine up to 400. That should be fine. I usually do it at 400 for about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to do it at 350 for just a little bit longer. So it'll probably be closer to 30 minutes, but it's normally until the bacon looks done. So, alright, in the oven. Alright, this looks and smells absolutely delicious. I couldn't figure out my stupid oven, so what I ended up doing is actually broiling it for the last 5 or 10 minutes. And that got the bacon finished up. So, oh, it looks perfect. I'm gonna try it. It's probably still piping hot. Just as good as I remember it. I haven't made this since college. It was always one of my favorite meals. I did a lot of duck hunting because I went to UW Stout over on the west side of Wisconsin, and that is so good. A lot of my buddies were duck hunters because they were from Minnesota, and they just seemed to do more duck hunting in Minnesota. Then I met one of my great buddies, Dylan. He's a really hardcore duck hunter. He's a guy that you saw me, if you have been following my videos, he helped us roof the cabin. He's just a real good friend. I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go visit Dylan. He's still at UW Stout. I'm going to go visit him, and we're going to do some duck hunting this weekend. So I'm going to try to document what I can on footage. It's going to be more of a guy's weekend, hunting, hanging out, having fun. But I haven't had this since I made it with Dylan way back sophomore year of college probably, and it's so good. It's by far one of my all-time favorite wild game meals. Like I said, you wrap anything in bacon, it's pretty much going to be good, and a lot of people kind of fault that and don't consider it like it's real wild game cooking, but it's so good. So definitely give it a shot. Let me know what you think. And if you have any other duck recipes, I'd really like to hear some of your thoughts on especially how to utilize the whole bird, like how to pluck and cook a whole bird. I'd be really interested to hear that. So if you have any thoughts on that, drop it in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for watching.